on. Oh, yeah, the blood and guts warrior is back from Australia with love. It's Tim Tszyu. And Tim, October 19th, Orlando, Prime Video. You're challenging for the IBF title at 154. Bakhram Murtazaliev. I'm going to butcher that. I'm going to get it down, though. Murtazaliev, maybe. I'll figure that out. Tim Tszyu, you came off that fight with Fondora was insane. How's the cut? How's the mindset? Where are we at as you head back to the ring?
Yeah, it's got a nice little V for Vengeance now basically tattooed on the top of my scalp. So everything's well, in a good place. I can't wait for the revenge, basically.
Well, look, that was one of the greatest moral victories that I've seen in a long time, where you take the loss, but everyone's talking coming out of it about your toughness, about your willingness to stay in there after the ridiculous cut early in that fight. How much did you actually enjoy that? Because I know that we seem to know what you're made of inside. You didn't seem to hesitate at all as things got worse for you in there.
Yeah, I guess it was a tough little scenario, but when I was able to sort of pull through a little bit, I sort of was able to pick it up a little and show what I'm truly made of, and that's an honor right there to show the whole world what you're about.
When you're going through that, when you almost can't even see, are you feeling like you're going to pass out? What is that like? Crimson Mask, yet you're still trying to figure out where he is and stalk him and walk him down.
Yeah, it's a shit feeling, in all honesty. And as you know, blood's not like water. It's not clear. When it goes into your eyes, it's stinging and it's stuck. So the whole time I'm trying to rub it off, and you're seeing double things and everything's blurry, but it's all right, like it makes you stronger, and you can do it.
Like, we're talking very positively about a loss. Was there any period where you had to kind of grieve the fact that it was a loss, even though I'm going to be honest, I was ringside. I thought you were a round away from knocking him out before that cut came in. You had figured him out. You were walking him down. Was it tough to deal with that fact that you lost your spot for a moment with that fight?
That's what I probably regret the most, is the fact that I did figure it all out, and I felt comfortable and strong. But I wasn't able to keep it going, As soon as the cut happened, it sort of rattled me a little bit, and I was in my head. I was not thinking about the fight anymore. I was thinking about this cut, and that's where I lost concentration. And boxing's all about concentration at all times. So that's the thing I'm working at the most now. Is concentrating at every given second of the fight.
Indeed, indeed. Well, you're back in a big one. There's no question about that. It kicks off the PBC sort of non-pay-per-view series on Prime Video. It's a title fight that's going to put you back in the mix. Let's talk about your opponent here, Murtazaliev, the IBF champion. How tough of a fight are you expecting against this unbeaten fighter from Russia?
Yeah, Soviet style, Soviet mentality. Like it's something that I grew up. So I know what he brings, and the toughness and the dog, basically the dog in him. So yeah, it's going to be two pit bulls going at it. It's always a fan-friendly type style and fan-friendly fight when you see two clashes like that.
How happy are you with how much your brand is growing? How much respect you are getting from that Fondora fight? Like, how much are you aware of all that, where you stand right now in the sport as you continue to rise?
Yeah, I think it's a good feeling to be able to walk around and people giving you props, but it's what you go through, and respect is it's what I'm all about. So of course I appreciate it, and it means the world.
What was Dad's reaction to that performance?
He was just a bit spewing. I don't blame him.
I mean, is there part of him that looks at you and is like, damn, I handed it down. This kid's a dog. He's the real deal. Like, there's got to be pride in that, right?
Yeah. I remember him saying when he retired, he said, the only reason I retired was because in my head, I didn't want to die in that ring anymore. And, when I was fighting Fondora, I was ready to die in that ring. And that's what that's what made me click that, you know, I am the warrior, the fighter that is not ready to retire.
That's about as real as it gets right there. When you share the ring with someone and produce a fight of the year contender, which you guys certainly did, does the respect for Sebastian, grow intimately during that experience?
Yeah, there was no bad blood before anyway. You know, I knew what he is, and I'm always respectful to my opponents. Uh, depends if they're respectful back. And but yeah, respect is it's there.
Do you have plans to see him again in the ring? Is that something that's itching on you?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. You know, I think he's going to be fighting Errol Spence, so I definitely want the winner out of those guys. And we move on, and there's plenty of fights to be made in the 154 division.
It's hot right now. You do have Spence threatening a comeback. You do have Terence Crawford. I mean, even Madrimov just had a hell of a performance in
Yeah.
defeat against Bud. Exciting times are coming. What do you think about Errol Spence? If he ends up going in there with Fondora, do you think he can turn this around after the layoff and reinvent himself at 54?
To a certain extent, you know, like I think he hasn't been the same since his car crash. I think he went a little bit downhill from then. But you never know. Like if he can bring the peak Errol Spence, you know, he's going to be problems for anyone in the division.
Yeah, indeed on that. When it comes to Crawford, the fan in me, I want to see you fight everybody, right? But I really want
Yeah.
to see you fight Crawford, and you've never been one to hide that. When you hear Terence say, "Look, I'm getting older, it's Canelo or nothing," do you believe him?
Yeah, to a certain extent, yeah, because he's never really been like active. Right now, of course, age is getting he's getting older and older, and he obviously wants the biggest possible money fights out there. So that's what he's chasing.
We had AJ Dubois just last weekend, and in a lot of ways, it really was a nice spectacle of how big boxing can be, right? In a big fight, in a big moment, 98,000 people. When you see that, are you itching to get a moment like that yourself?
Oh, for sure, man. That's the dream, you know, to be able to go on a stage like that where you've done well.
When we go back to this fight with Murtazaliev and the styles and how you clash there, should we expect another action fight?
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully no blood this time. On my side. Yeah, hopefully no blood on my side. Yeah, it's gonna be action. I'm coming in red hot right now. You know, my hands are itchy and I'm ready to go.
Indeed, indeed. If you pick back that title, you get that 154 strap. Obviously, if we get Fundora Spence, you'll be looking at that closely. But what are your goals over the next year in the sport?
Uh Unifications, biggest possible fights out there, keeping myself active and making the most out of every moment, growing as a person, growing as a fighter.
I've heard interviews where you said you never even thought about not finishing that fight with Fundora. It was never even a, consideration. Do you look back and say I made the right choice?
Yes, yes, I
Why?
did. Because I got to show the world who I am. And something like that is priceless.
I mean, what's it like when you walk into the coffee shop now or you go to the grocery store? What are the people saying to you?
It's there's a lot of support, you know, there's a lot of support. It's in Australia it's pretty crazy, it's pretty chaotic. In America it's a bit more chilled. But yeah, the support's crazy, it's unreal.
Tim, what are your thoughts from the business side when you look at how quickly the business is changing? I know there was that little back and forth you had with Turkey Al Sheikh. Dana White and the UFC might get into boxing. We just saw Showtime go away, HBO before that. From a US standpoint, those were obviously big blocks that moved, and now everyone's kind of adjusting. And obviously, PBC's got something very good going with Prime Video. How exciting is it for you that so much is happening in the business of boxing around you?
Yeah, boxing's red hot, you know. It's one of the greatest sports in the world. And that's why it's growing, it's adapting, it's changing over the times, and years and years will come and boxing will still be up there and it will just be sometimes new faces, new people, but we're at a good era right now and at a good position right now.
There it is. Hey, I can't wait for this fight. October 19th, Orlando. PBC, we're back here. Prime Video. Tim Tszyu back in the title picture. The IBF strap in front of you and Murtazaliev. Best of luck, Tim. I know this is going to be another fun one.
No, I appreciate that. Thanks.